Happening now, the conversation between protesters and police during a rally demanding law enforcement reforms. We take you there. Plus, the latest on the COVID-19 reopening effort.
And a look over the Warren City Bank in downtown Warren shows you the mostly sunny skies. That'll continue through the day, but rain returns by the middle of the week. We'll talk about it and more as the news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Demand for law enforcement reform led to dialogue between police and protesters during a Black Lives Matter demonstration yesterday here in Jamestown. More than 100 people gathered at Dow Park in downtown Jamestown at noon on Sunday, protesting the death of George Floyd, an African-American man that was killed by Minnesota police officers last week. Now, in a very unique setting, Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist, Jamestown Police Chief Harry Snellings, and Chautauqua County Sheriff Jim Quattrone engaged in a conversation with protesters answering many of their questions. Mayor Sundquist assured those gathering that their message has been heard and he will seek the reforms that they are calling for.
So we are going to continue that conversation. We're going to start to reach out to folks, to bring people together, to make sure that we figure out what do we need to do to be more inclusive, to make sure that we are representing everyone here in this community.
Jamestown's group remained peaceful, wearing face coverings, holding signs, and chanting phrases like Black Lives Matter and I Can't Breathe. Floyd died last week after a Minnesota police officer pressed his knee on his neck until he stopped breathing. Since then, almost every major city nationwide has seen some type of protest, many of which becoming violent. Well, 2 people were arrested after allegedly fighting following a Sunday evening Black Lives Matter protest here in Jamestown. Video posted by the 716 network on Facebook shows one of the men being taken into custody following an altercation near the corner of East 2nd and Pine Street at around 11:30 p.m. Now, Jamestown Police Chief Harry Snellings tells us that he is not sure necessarily if the arrest was related to the protest. However, those 2 people were taken into custody. Now, just a little while ago, police did identify the 2 that were taken into custody, and they are local residents, one from Russell, PA, and one from Asheville. One of the suspects there, police said, had a knife. Luckily, no injuries were reported in the incident. Police have yet to release very much specifics about that, except that these men are facing charges and were released from police custody this morning. Around a dozen of officers from the Jamestown Police Department were on scene. A group of around 20 gathered on the sidewalk. Earlier in the evening, around 100 people gathered at City Hall calling for justice following Floyd's killing. Now, the protesters started around 6 o'clock with music, and that lasted late into the night. Jamestown resident Izana Austin says that she was out to protest for worldwide injustice.
People say we are not the only people that are oppressed. We understand that. But somebody has to speak out at some point in time. If don't nobody say nothing, there ain't gonna be no type of change at all. Another point that I do want to make is, no, we're not here rioting. We're here trying to be heard. That's it. Just want to be heard. Just sit down and listen. That's all you have to do is just sit down and listen. We're not here to argue, not here to fight. I'm not here to loot, steal, start a riot, none of that. We just want people to understand that we didn't even ask to be here, if we want to be correct. We didn't ask to be here. We did not ask to be here. So, since you guys brought us here, and we built this country, we made it what it's supposed to be, allow us to be equal to you.
Now, she told our crews that they intend to remain peaceful in their protesting efforts. Well, other news we're following. The 4th COVID-19 related death was reported in Cattaraugus County yesterday. Here's a look at the updated COVID-19 case map here locally. The Cattaraugus County Health Department says that the death involves a 71-year-old woman who developed respiratory failure and was unable to overcome her illness despite aggressive medical treatment. Additionally, 2 new cases of COVID-19 were reported there in Cattaraugus County, bringing the countywide total to 47, with 18 of them active. Officials say the new cases involved 2 men who were asymptomatic. One of them was a county jail inmate, the other who is now hospitalized. In Chautauqua County, officials reported 1 new case, a male in his 60s. There are now 21 active cases here, 85 total. 60 have recovered and 4 have died since the beginning of the outbreak. Well, officials with the city of Jamestown have now teamed up with county leaders to help hairstylists prepare for reopening. They announced today that the city is working to provide licensed stylists with face shields to ensure that they have proper protection when opening up. Stylists are asked to contact the mayor's office. The city notes that the stylists must be based here in Jamestown and ensure that their names submitted match those on their state license. Phase 2 reopening in Western New York is slated to start on Tuesday. In addition to hair salons and barber shops, several other business types like offices, real estate, and some in-store retail can begin to open up. Well, this just in, Jamestown police are asking for the public's help following a believed arson fire overnight in Bergman Park. Jamestown police say that between last night and this morning, someone started a fire at the park batting cage. Crews from the city park department reported damage here this morning, which was still smoldering. Investigators are now examining video from the park to possibly identify suspects there. Anyone with information in the incident is asked to contact the Jamestown Police at 716-483-8477. Well, students at Jamestown Public Schools gathered over the weekend to show their support to keep the Jamestown Success Academy open and running. The school's 2020-21 budget includes major cuts that would shutter the school. The group is now formulating a plan to help bring in some outside funding to keep the doors open. Students say that the school has acted as a safe haven from bullies in the district, and their learning will now be affected.
Every time when we walk into those doors, no one bullies you or be mean to you. And when you go upstairs or stay downstairs for a little bit of time, everyone is with you and not hurting your feelings.
Now, tonight at 6 o'clock, the Jamestown Board of Education is holding a public hearing on that budget. You can watch it live at jpsny.org. The students at the rally Saturday plan to attend virtually tonight to continue to share their concerns. Well, we thank you for joining us here for WNY News Now as we continue to put facts over fear in our coverage of COVID-19 and now rallies and protests that are breaking out across much of New York State and the reopening effort. We thank you so much for joining us for pretty much all of that. Let's check in with the comments and say hello to Tiffany. Great to see you. Good to have you on the broadcast. Good to see Lakeith, Pam. Jord has joined us as well, and Martha is here. Thank you all for joining us, and we want to know what you're thinking about. Please let us know in the comments below, as we'd love to engage in conversation. Well, let's switch gears and get a check of our First Defense weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter standing by with a beautiful shot from Findlay Lake, Dakota. It's certainly looking like summer out there, but maybe feeling more like spring.
Yeah, it is. The temperatures are down for pretty much part of this week, but there's going to be some rebound as we get into the later part of the week with the temperatures, but at least it's not muggy. A beautiful blue sky over Findlay Lake. 62 is the current temperature right now with a west wind of 7, and man, Chautauqua Lake looking nice. I know a lot of people are eager to get their boats out on the lake on both Lake Erie and, of course, on Chautauqua Lake. You can see the satellite and radar composite. Really, we don't have a whole lot in the terms of cloud cover around here, so that is the good news today. We're going to see mostly sunny skies. Hey, the motor's forecast is back. How do you like this new graphic? We have a nice little motorboat here. Brrr, out there. There you go. 55 is the current water temperature off the coast of Buffalo. 58 off the coast of Erie. It's going to be breezy today with a southwest wind, 15 to 20 knots, and wave height could be around 3 to 6 feet. So if you are taking your boat out today, just keep that in mind. There actually is a small craft advisory in effect, so keep that in mind. 52 was the high yesterday. That is 20 degrees below the average to where we should be. The average high this time of the year is 72, 87, and 33 are in the record books for today. So through the afternoon, gobs and gobs and gobs of sun. It is going to be fantastic. It's a cool day, but it's going to remain very comfortable with low humidity, but there will be a bit of a breeze through the afternoon. 64 at the immediate Lake Erie waterfront to 68 while inland with a west wind 10 to 20 miles per hour. Some wind gusts could be near 30 miles an hour. We get into some rain tonight through Wednesday. Then we get into some muggies by the end of the week. We will talk about it in a few. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Coming up, more from yesterday's noontime Black Lives Matter rally here in Jamestown, where in a very unique move, local law enforcement spoke directly to protesters in a question and answer type discussion. That and more right after this.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you. When you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading the WNY News Now mobile app. Stay up to date on local news, weather, and sports that matter to you. Plus, subscribe to breaking news and weather alerts from the team that puts coverage first. In addition, watch news as it happens with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network. Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. Over the weekend, images of civil unrest and violence poured in from cities across the nation. But here in Jamestown, protesters met Sunday afternoon with a much different approach, speaking directly with local law enforcement in an impromptu discussion at Dow Park. Our cameras were on hand, providing a front row seat to this conversation about police reforms, not just in Jamestown, but nationwide. Take a look.
Well, yeah, we'll do it. Here we go. It's okay.
So appreciative for you being out here today. And I said it on my live, and I also said it on out here today.
I don't mind that I don't have a mask.
Yes, and me either, because I was talking. So I was talking, that's why my mask is off. But Chief Snelling, I was wondering, as there is, correct me if I'm wrong, but there are 2 police officers that are retiring and 1 detective that is retiring. So correct. There are 3 spaces that are going to be open.
Correct.
And what I'm hearing from the community, which I'd like to communicate to you, is there going to be people of color in any or all of those 3 positions that need to be filled?
I would tell you a couple of things. One, it's always been a struggle for us. We have 2 additional officers of color in our department currently. We are bound by civil service, so we have to canvass the list, and that's currently what we're doing. And once we get the list and whoever's available, that's who we have to choose from. I think one of the challenges that we have is to get members of our community of color to actually get involved, in the criminal justice program and pursue a career in law enforcement.
So what are we doing to reach out to our children to let them know that we need them to be in law enforcement?
Sure. I'm actively engaged in the criminal justice program at BOCES through the high school. In fact, I actually help initiate with the instructors there at Internship Academy that we have one-on-one with kids. There was a Hispanic criminal justice club at, I believe it was Washington Middle School, that I've come and I've engaged, because another challenge we have is bilingual officers. I have one right now. I had two, but I have one. It's a struggle, and so we try that outreach, but the other side of that, we need people to also do the work, and we can help guide them to get to that position.
We're here to support the community.
Will you promote kids wanting to join the criminal justice system?
Oh, absolutely.
Will you guys put out signs? Will you guys go to schools and speak out and tell the community that we want you guys, that we want the black community to come join you guys?
Is Billy Torres here?
We haven't seen him yet.
Okay, I would tell you I've done a lot of work with Billy Torres and his program too. Again, trying to promote that and create that relationship with our law enforcement agencies here in the city, with our community groups. With our SROs, again, we're very active in our schools and dealing with our kids, but as an agency, we do a lot of different things too. And the criminal justice program is one of the big ones, because that gives us the ability to directly link with high school kids that are interested in becoming police officers.
So many of our kids have to leave this community. We have a lot of police officers, black police officers in other states that came from this community but could not make it, could not get hired here. Why is that?
You're not going to get an argument from me. But again, one of the challenges is that having kids put themselves through the academy here and making themselves eligible on the civil service list to get hired.
But when they do that, they still don't get hired. That's the problem. When they do that, they still doesn't get. They got to leave the community. They have to leave the community to get hired somewhere else.
During my tenure, I've had two on the list. I've hired one. The other one got hired by the sheriff's department.
I want to just say one thing right now, that this is huge, that we have all of the folks of our community here today, right this moment, that you have here the mayor, you have members of our city council here, we've brought our police chief here, because we are here to engage in a dialogue with our community, right? This is a new administration, this is a new time for our city, and we want you to know that we are here. I may not look like every one of you, but we are all humans. We are all in this together. We are all trying to make our city a better place. So whatever we can do to make that happen, we will do here in Jamestown.
Are you guys willing to start more youth programs to keep the youth out of trouble, so we're not perpetuating a cycle of violence and getting them not have nothing to do, which makes them go ahead and get in trouble because there's so much time on their hands?
I've been very vocal about trying to be able to bring back our youth services program here in the city. So a lot of it has to do with funding. I've only been on the job 5 months, and we're working on trying to bring that back as we go into next year. But we are working hand in hand with the schools to make sure that we have programs available, that our employees, including myself, the police chief, our officers, our fire, go into schools, understand that we are here to support, and we will do whatever we can to continue supporting our community.
Correct.
Bias training are we doing?
Go ahead. There you go.
What unconscious bias training and de-escalation training does the Jamestown Police Department receive?
That's all part of the academy training. That's all part of it.
Changed them, because ever since for 100 years it's not changed. We're still being beaten. We're still being persecuted without being.
One thing I will talk about, since we're here because of a use of force issue, I will tell you that when I saw it, I was disturbed. That's not something that we teach, not something that we would condone, and something that's not acceptable. One of the things that I did.
Was it murder?
What's that?
Was it murder?
Again, that's for
Was it murder?
In your eyes.
I would tell you.
As a person, do you feel he got murdered?
As a person,
Was it murder?
If his actions directly caused that, my answer is yes.
It was murder.
Okay?
Yes.
Now, let me hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. I want to address her question. One of the things that when I first took over, we changed our defensive tactics specifically because that. And it's been a progression over the years, and we've done away with a lot of stuff that you still continuously see in other areas, in other states. We train on this at least twice a year, where a lot of agencies do not. We've worked extremely hard to get away from some of those tactics. But what I would tell you, you still have the human element. No one's perfect. No system is perfect, and things happen. I'm not trying to diminish that. I'm not condoning that whatsoever. None of us are. But I just wanted to address your question. We have recognized it.
How big is our police force?
We have 60 officers right now.
We have 60 officers. How many of them live in the city of Jamestown?
I want to say probably close to 25, 26.
So 25 out of our 60 officers actually live in your community.
Correct.
That is not community policing.
Correct.
That is not community policing. We need community policing. If you do not live in Jamestown, you are coming in and you are enforcing a law. You are not part of our community. You are an occupying force. I will not be occupied anymore. How are we going to fix that?
Mr. Mayor,
So
who polices our police?
let them answer, please.
I'm sorry, I really have a good
It's all right.
question.
You energize.
Our internal. Our internal.
Let them. Hold it.
Yeah.
We'll have time. We'll have time, honey.
Are you Justin?
I'm Justin.
Okay.
I'm Justin Hubbard, and I will no longer be occupied.
So, you have an excellent question about our police force, right? We encourage and want more and more of our officers to live in the city of Jamestown. There are issues with New York State law preventing us from requiring them to live in the city that they work.
Can you incentivize?
Which is the problem. And as we start to renegotiate our police contracts, that has been a discussion to incentivize more people to buy homes and to live in the city. That is something that is not only my priority, but the priority of our city council, and the chief has said so himself. Every time he looks to hire someone, the first question I ask is, where do you live and when are you moving into the city?
I want to ask, since Chief Snelling has taken the time to come, thank you for that. We appreciate it.
That's why I'm here.
Wait, just 1 minute, Pastor Norma. I got a message from the sheriff, Jim Quattrone.
He's right there.
He should be here.
Yes.
right there.
Hi, perfect timing. No, you step up. And I'm hoping that I could get the same commitment that I got from our sheriff, because he said to me via a message, and here he is right now so he can verify it, because I'm going to paraphrase it. He said that he would like the police officers to be in touch with the leaders of our community, to be able to have a better relationship with our community. First of all, are all of you in agreement with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Are the Muslims going to be included in that community? Because we don't have really much of a voice.
And no, just before we go there, I just want to hear our sheriff's response, the Chief Snelling's response, and then Pastor Norma will go to you.
I'm going to take this off so you can hear me better.
Yes, that's why my mask is off.
Sorry. So one of the things I talked with Shiloh about was making sure we had the right representation there. And to your question about the Muslim, we need to know who to contact. And when
My name is Devana. I'm one of the
Devana,
Muslims. I'm one of the Muslims speaking out.
And
I'm one of the ones that put this together because I'm tired. So we don't have to be violent.
One of the
Just
things,
talk to us.
and when Shiloh says the leaders, it's not necessarily the political leaders, but the community leaders. And sometimes those community leaders are, actually, in another community I was at, was a 14-year-old. Is one of the community leaders that has helped us bridge the gap in their community. So we need to make sure we're doing that. I had reached out to Reverend Clark this morning too, and he's on board, and he suggested some other names, but that's something we have to have the right names involved. I did want to kind of echo something that the chief mentioned, and I think we haven't talked about this, but I think we're in agreement on this, is we both agree that there needs to be more training. Unfortunately, even at the state level, there's not a large requirement for de-escalation, defensive tactics. Sorry, I'm speaking with my hands, and I'm going to smack the mayor. But one of the things we have tried to do is a crisis intervention training. We've had one of those. We had another one scheduled for this year, but because of the virus and the shutdown, that's been postponed. but that focuses a lot on dealing with people who are in crisis and how to de-escalate those situations. So that is still on the calendar, but it's not scheduled yet because we don't know when we're going to be able to do that. But so we do want to work with the community. We want to, and the entire community. And really, I have moved into Jamestown now, so I'm a Jamestown resident. So we are, but the community, when I talk to the community, that's a overall community. And so, that's as much as Clymer. We have to get to know what's going on in Clymer, or Silver Creek, as Jamestown, Dunkirk. It's something that we need, and that's when we talk about community policing. Community policing, it's great if we can have people living in the city, but you know what? We need to at least find out what's going on in the community. Until we can fix other systemic problems, we work with the community in that, doing that. So,
I'm going to just add, you all have my commitment as mayor of the city to start to bring people together as soon as we safely can, to be more inclusive. And I know one person said I'm going to hold you to that, and I'm going to tell you right now, you better. Okay? You have my commitment.
Now, to view the full hour-long conversation, visit our website, WNYNewsNow.com. Well, now let's get a check of our full weather forecast with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter.
Well, that was a very fun thing to see. I'm so glad it was so peaceful. I'm so glad that, the mayor and the chief of police came out and actually heard what people had to say. It was really, really nice to see. And here's something else nice to see. How about the sunset last night? Sean Sweatman, who pilots the Storm Interceptor, took this last night. Man, I mean, it was chilly yesterday, but, we had a lot of sunshine to go around yesterday as well. So Hunters WX on Twitter or the First Defense weather page on Facebook is how you send us stuff. And, of course, we'll get it on the air. But weather stuff, not anything else. What you see is what you get today. This is what you're going to see when you walk outside today. Lots of blue sky with just a few clouds in the sky, but showers develop overnight. That'll last into tomorrow, and then we'll get into a chance for a few thunderstorms on Wednesday. Some of them could be strong. Once again, that's not a guarantee, but that's something we're keeping an eye on for the middle of the week, and some humidity will return, but brief humidity will return by the end of the week. We're at 62 right now at the Jamestown Airport as of 1 o'clock. We're at with a west wind at 10, a wind gust at 23, and look at this dew point number at 40. So the humidity is way down today, but it will be coming up again, as I just told you, as we go throughout the later part of the week. NOAA Storm Prediction Center has much of the region under a low-end marginal risk. That is a level 1 out of 5 for Wednesday. This is not today. This is not tomorrow. This is for Wednesday afternoon with some showers and thunderstorms popping up. Some of them could be strong with some gusty winds, but that's something that we're going to keep an eye on as we go throughout the next day or two. High pressure is built in down to our south. That is leading us to lots of sunshine out there, but it is cooler. This high pressure built in from the north. So because of that, the winds are actually coming out of the west today, out of the west-northwest, so that's why it's cooler. Nothing today on Future Scan. Here we go into tonight. You can see the model painting a few showers coming in tonight. Tomorrow, showers will continue in pockets. We may see a couple rumbles of thunder tomorrow. Definitely not out of the question, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of thunderstorm activity. That'll ultimately, all of this will actually continue on Tuesday night. Then here we go into Wednesday. Notice this band of showers and thunderstorms back to the west. This is what we're going to be keeping an eye on for Wednesday. Some of that could be strong with maybe some gusty winds, maybe some small hail at this point, but that's something that we're going to keep an eye on as we go throughout the next day or two. So zone forecast, the inland areas today. Here are the temperatures for you. Temperatures below average. We should be in the lower 70s this time of the year, but hey, not bad. Warren could get close at 68, but otherwise mid to upper 60s for most areas with lots of sunshine. Here come the next 7 days of your life right now on planet Earth. We'll squeak out another 66 tomorrow, but rain showers at times through the day. Wednesday, there's that thunderstorm chance at 76. Now we warm up a little bit going into the later part of the week. We should be into the lower 80s on Friday with a few scattered afternoon showers and storms. Humidity spikes up along with that. And then the weekend, Saturday, just a few isolated showers. And then Sunday, lots of sunshine, but temperatures actually into the lower 70s at that point. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Looking like it's going to be an absolute beautiful, beautiful weekend. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it stays that way. Thank you very much. That's going to do it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com And we remind you, when you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading our mobile app and subscribing to breaking news push notifications. As soon as we learn information on pretty much any story, we send it straight to you. We leave you with this beautiful shot over downtown Jamestown today. We're back here tomorrow live at noon. Hope to see you then.